Imagine walking into a room that feels brand new, even though you spent less than $10 on it.
That rush of excitement, that instant sense of pride, is exactly what I'm going to hand you today. In the next few minutes, I'm going to walk you through 3 simple projects that will transform your space, save you money, and prove that a fresh look doesn't have to come with a hefty price tag. Grab a cup of coffee, roll up your sleeves, and let's dive into the world of affordable home upgrades.
I'm a DIY enthusiast who turned a cramped studio into a showcase without ever breaking the bank.
The truth is, the average homeowner spends about $1,200 each year on minor repairs and updates.
But the majority of those costs can be slashed by learning a few clever tricks.
By the end of this video, you'll have a clear roadmap for 4 practical projects: a quick wall refresh, an upcycled piece of furniture, a smart storage solution,
and an energy-saving tweak that will lower your bills.
Each project is broken down step by step, using tools you probably already have, and I'll give you a transparent cost breakdown so you can see exactly how little you'll spend.
Let's start with the wall refresh that looks like a professional job in just half an hour. First, choose a paint that gives you maximum coverage without breaking the bank.
Chalk paint is a favorite for its matte finish and minimal prep, but a quality acrylic from a big box store can be just as effective for under $15 per quart. If you have a small area, a single quart will be more than enough. Before you even dip the brush, gather painter's tape, a damp cloth, and an optional quick-dry primer spray. The primer isn't mandatory, but it helps the color pop and hides previous imperfections. Now for the magic, the one-coat technique. Roll a thin, even layer using a medium nap roller, and keep a wet edge as you move across the surface. This prevents streaks and ensures a uniform finish. If you spot a nail hole or a small dent, pause, apply a dab of spackle, smooth it with a sanding block, and continue painting. The spackle dries in minutes, so you won't lose momentum.
When you step back, you'll see a wall that looks freshly painted, all for under $20 and 30 minutes of your time.
Next, let's talk about breathing new life into that tired nightstand you've been meaning to toss. The first step is to pick a piece that has solid bones, a sturdy frame, no broken legs, and a surface you can sand. Grab a cheap sanding block and sand with the grain to avoid scratches. Wipe away the dust with a damp rag, and you're ready for the paint. 2 thin coats of matte chalk paint will give you a smooth, velvety finish. Let each coat dry for about 15 minutes, then seal it with a clear polyurethane spray for durability. The final touch? Swap out the old knobs for vintage pulls you can find at a dollar store. A simple hardware change can turn a plain dresser into a statement piece. All of this adds up to roughly $20 in supplies, and the whole transformation can be completed in under an hour.
What do you think about turning old pieces into something fresh? Let me know in the comments. I really want to hear your ideas.
Now, onto storage, because a tidy home feels instantly more spacious. The floating shelf trick is a game changer. All you need is a couple of 2x4 boards, a set of sturdy brackets, and a drill. Cut the boards to your desired length, sand the edges, and paint them to match your decor. A coat of the same chalk paint you used on the wall works beautifully. Attach the brackets to the wall studs using a stud finder, then slide the board onto the brackets.
The result is a sleek, invisible shelf that can hold books, plants, or decorative boxes, all for less than $15 in materials.
If you're short on floor space, consider repurposing a wooden crate as a rolling cart. Sand the crate, paint it, and add a set of small wheels from a hardware store. Inside, line the bottom with a piece of fabric to protect your items. This mobile storage unit can serve as a coffee table, a sideboard, or a handy organizer for craft supplies. The total cost stays under $10, and the crate becomes a functional piece that moves with you. Finally, let's talk about a tiny energy hack that can shave dollars off your monthly bills. Many homes waste heat through drafty windows, especially in the winter months. A simple solution is to apply a clear plastic film to the interior of the glass. The film is inexpensive, easy to install, and creates an insulating barrier that reduces heat loss. Measure the window dimensions, cut the film to size, and use a hairdryer to smooth out any bubbles. The whole process takes about 20 minutes, and costs less than $5 per window. Over a season, you'll notice a noticeable drop in your heating costs, and the film can be removed without damaging the glass when the weather warms up.
We've covered a wall makeover, a furniture upcycle, clever storage ideas, and an energy-saving tweak, all under a modest budget and with tools you likely already own.
These projects prove that you don't need a big bank account to make your home feel fresh, organized, and efficient.
If this is blowing your mind, hit that subscribe button and let's keep exploring together.
Imagine walking into a room that feels brand new, even though you've only spent a few dollars and a couple of afternoons on it.
That sense of pride is exactly what makes DIY so rewarding, and it's something you can tap into again and again. Let's keep the momentum going by exploring a few more low-cost upgrades that you can slot into any schedule.
Whether you're a weekend warrior or someone who only has a few spare evenings each month. First, let's talk about lighting. Good lighting can completely change the mood of a space, and you don't need to break the bank to upgrade it. One of the simplest tricks is to swap out harsh white bulbs for warm amber or soft white LEDs.
A pack of these bulbs usually costs less than $10, and the difference in ambiance is instantly noticeable.
If you want to get a little more creative, consider adding a strip of adhesive LED lights under kitchen cabinets or behind a television. These strips come in rolls that you can cut to length, and they stick right on with a little pressure. Once you've measured the length you need, just use a ruler or a piece of string to get an accurate estimate. You can peel off the backing and press the strip into place.
The result is a subtle glow that not only looks modern but also makes it easier to find things after dark.
And because LEDs use very little electricity, you'll be saving a few pennies on your monthly bill as well. Next up is a quick bathroom refresh that can be done without any plumbing work. The most noticeable change often comes from the vanity area.
If you have an old wooden vanity, a fresh coat of paint in a crisp white or a muted pastel can make it look brand new.
Before you start, clean the surface thoroughly with a mild detergent and let it dry completely. Lightly sand the surface with a fine grit sanding block to give the paint something to cling to, then wipe away any dust. Apply a thin layer of primer if the wood is particularly glossy, and follow with 2 light coats of your chosen paint, allowing each coat to dry before adding the next. While the paint is drying, you can upgrade the hardware. Swapping out the old faucet handles for sleek, modern knobs can be done with a simple wrench, and you'll often find that these hardware kits are priced under $15 at most hardware stores. Finally, add a small roll of decorative contact paper to the inside of the cabinet doors for a pop of pattern. This paper is easy to cut with scissors, and it adheres without any adhesives, making it a reversible upgrade if you ever want to change the look later. If you're looking for a way to add personality to a hallway or a narrow entryway, consider a gallery wall made from inexpensive frames you already have or can find at thrift shops. The key is to keep the layout cohesive. Lay out all the frames on the floor first, arranging them in a balanced pattern before you start hanging anything. Use painter's tape to mark the top edges on the wall, ensuring that the spacing stays even. Once you're happy with the arrangement, use a level and a small nail or picture hook to secure each frame.
You can fill the frames with anything from family photos to vintage postcards, or even a collection of small art prints you've printed at home.
The cost of the frames can be kept under $20 if you hunt for deals, and the visual impact is huge.
A well-curated gallery wall draws the eye and makes a narrow space feel more inviting. Another budget-friendly upgrade is to improve the look of your kitchen backsplash without the mess of tile. Peel and stick backsplash tiles are a game-changer.
They come in a variety of patterns, from classic subway to modern geometric designs, and you can purchase a sheet that covers a standard countertop length for less than $20. To install, start by cleaning the wall surface thoroughly, removing any grease or residue. Measure the area you want to cover, then cut the tile sheet with a utility knife, scoring along a straight edge and snapping it cleanly. Peel off the backing and press the tile onto the wall, smoothing out any bubbles with a credit card or a flat tool. If you make a mistake, the adhesive is forgiving enough that you can peel it off and reposition it within a short window of time.
This quick makeover adds a polished look to your cooking space and can be completed in an afternoon. Let's not forget about the power of textiles. Swapping out old curtains for new ones can instantly update a room's vibe.
If you're on a tight budget, consider using a simple fabric panel that you can hem yourself. Choose a fabric that complements your existing color palette, then measure the width of your window and add a few extra inches for a gentle gather. Fold the top edge over twice, pin it in place, and sew a straight stitch along the fold. Repeat the process on the bottom edge, leaving a small opening for a rod pocket. Slide a tension rod through the pocket, and you have a custom curtain that looks tailored without the cost of ready-made options.
You can also add a decorative tie-back made from a scrap of rope or a piece of ribbon, securing it with a small hook on the wall. This small details add a sense of completeness and can be swapped out seasonally for a fresh look.
Now, let's talk about a clever trick for keeping your floors looking clean and protected, especially in high-traffic areas like entryways. A runner made from a repurposed rug or a piece of inexpensive fabric can be both functional and stylish. Cut the fabric to the desired length. Then fold the edges over twice and sew them down to create a neat hem. If you want extra durability, you can attach a thin layer of non-slip backing, which you can find at most craft stores.
Lay the runner in place, and you'll notice an immediate reduction in dirt tracked onto the floor, plus a touch of color that ties the room together.
The total cost stays well under $15, especially if you already have fabric on hand.
For those who love a bit of greenery, creating a vertical garden on a blank wall can be a surprisingly affordable project.
All you need is a few wooden pallets, some landscape fabric, and a selection of small potted plants. Disassemble the pallet boards, sand any rough edges, and attach the boards to the wall using sturdy brackets. Line the back of each board with landscape fabric to hold soil, then fill with a lightweight potting mix. Plant herbs, succulents, or small flowering plants in the pockets you create, and water them lightly.
The vertical garden not only adds a fresh, natural element to your space, but also improves air quality.
The materials for this project can be sourced for under $20 if you look for reclaimed pallets at local stores or online marketplaces. If you're looking for a quick way to reduce noise in a room, especially if you have a home office or a nursery, consider adding acoustic panels made from simple materials. A dense foam board, covered with a decorative fabric, can absorb sound and look sleek. Cut the foam board to the size you need, wrap it in fabric, and secure the fabric with a staple gun or strong adhesive. Hang the panels on the wall at ear level, and you'll notice a reduction in echo and a more comfortable acoustic environment.
The cost of foam board and fabric can be kept under $10 per panel, making this an economical solution for improving the sound quality of any space.
Let's not overlook the power of organization in the kitchen. A set of magnetic spice jars can be mounted on the side of the refrigerator, freeing up cabinet space and keeping your most used seasonings within easy reach. Purchase a set of small glass jars with magnetic lids, or simply attach a magnetic strip to the back of regular jars using a strong adhesive. Arrange the jars in a row on the fridge, and label each one with a handwritten tag or a printed label.
This simple upgrade not only looks tidy but also speeds up cooking by having everything at your fingertips.
The entire setup can be assembled for less than $10, especially if you repurpose jars you already have. Another handy tip for the laundry room is to create a folding station using a repurposed tabletop. Find an old coffee table or a sturdy piece of plywood, sand the surface, and paint it to match your decor. Add a few small hooks underneath for hanging towels or clothing, and you have a dedicated space that makes folding laundry less of a chore.
The cost of paint and a few hooks is minimal, and the added functionality can make a big difference in your daily routine.
If you're interested in boosting curb appeal without a major renovation, a fresh coat of paint on your front door can work wonders.
Choose a bold color that complements the exterior of your home and use a high-quality exterior paint that can withstand the elements.
Before you start, clean the door thoroughly, sand any rough spots, and apply a thin layer of primer if the surface is glossy. Then, apply 2 light coats of your chosen color, allowing each coat to dry fully. While the paint is drying, you can add a new doorknob or a decorative house number made from metal or wood.
These small touches create a welcoming first impression and can increase the perceived value of your home.
The total expense for paint, primer, and hardware can be kept under $20 if you shop smartly. Now, let's explore a quick fix for squeaky floorboards, a problem that can be both annoying and embarrassing when guests are over. The solution is surprisingly simple. Sprinkle a small amount of talc powder or baby powder into the cracks where the squeak originates, then sweep it into the seams. The powder acts as a lubricant, reducing friction and silencing the noise. If the squeak persists, you can gently tap a few small nails into the joist from underneath, being careful not to damage any wiring or plumbing. This method requires only a few basic tools and a little patience, and the cost is essentially negligible. For those who love a bit of DIY tech, creating a smart light switch using a low-cost Wi-Fi-enabled switch can add convenience without a major overhaul. These switches replace your existing toggle or rocker switch and connect to your home network, allowing you to control lights from your phone or voice assistant. Installation typically involves turning off the power at the breaker, removing the old switch, and connecting the new one according to the wiring diagram. If you're comfortable with basic electrical work, this upgrade can be completed in under an hour. The price of a basic smart switch is often under $20, and the added functionality can lead to energy savings as you can turn lights off remotely.
Let's not forget about the power of scent in creating a welcoming home.
A DIY reed diffuser can be made with a small glass bottle, a carrier oil, essential oil, and a handful of bamboo reeds. Fill the bottle with a mixture of carrier oil and a few drops of your favorite essential oil, then insert the reeds. The scent will travel up the reeds and gently perfume the room. You can customize the fragrance to match the season. Think citrus for summer, warm spices for winter, and the materials cost less than $5.
This simple addition adds a layer of comfort and hospitality that guests will notice. If you have a small balcony or patio, consider building a compact herb garden using recycled containers.
Clean out old tin cans, plastic bottles, or even a broken wooden crate. Then drill small holes for drainage. Fill each container with potting soil. Plant herbs like basil, mint, or rosemary, and place them in a sunny spot.
Water them regularly, and you'll have fresh herbs at your fingertips for cooking, all while adding a touch of greenery to your outdoor space.
The cost of soil and seeds is minimal, especially if you can source containers for free. Finally, let's talk about maintaining the momentum after you've completed these projects. The key to long-term success is to keep a list of small ideas that you can tackle whenever you have a spare moment. Write them down in a notebook or a notes app, and prioritize them based on the impact they'll have and the materials you already have on hand. By breaking larger goals into bite-sized tasks, you'll avoid feeling overwhelmed and stay motivated to keep improving your space.
Before we wrap up, I'd love to hear from you. Which of these ideas are you most excited to try first?
Have you already tried any of these hacks and have a tip to share?
Drop a comment below and let's start a conversation. Your experience could inspire someone else to take that first step. And if you found any of these suggestions useful, give the video a thumbs up. It helps the channel growth and lets me know what kind of content you enjoy.
Remember, the beauty of DIY is that it's a journey, not a destination.
Each small improvement adds up, creating a home that reflects your personality, saves you money, and feels truly yours. Keep experimenting, stay curious, and don't be afraid to make mistakes. They're just part of the learning process. If you want to stay updated on more budget-friendly home projects, consider subscribing and hitting the notification bell so you never miss a new video. Together, we'll keep turning ordinary spaces into extraordinary places, one affordable upgrade at a time. Thank you for watching, and happy making.